Good evening, friends. Thank you for joining Candid Media every evening to follow what's happening in India and abroad. Thank you for sending me your useful comments and suggestions. If you believe in this channel, do hit the like button, share with friends, and spread the message. Our only mission is to bring you the truth and both sides of the story. Thank you for your support. Today, Saffron Tiger is back with us. Welcome, Saffron.
Namaskar, Minaji, and namaskar to all our viewers. And it's a pleasure yet again to be part of your show. And I look forward to an absolutely splendid discussion.
Yeah. Every Saturday, our viewers look forward to, hearing you talk, Saffron. So
It's my pleasure.
everybody's already waiting, I guess.
Yeah, let's get
Yeah,
started then.
yeah. So now going back to the Sushant Singh case, Saffron, the Mahavikas Aghadi through Congress General Secretary Sachin Sawant, who has written on Twitter that 2 years after Sushant Singh Rajput's death, there's no case status. They want to know the case status. So they wanted to know the status from the CBI investigation into his death. It's been 2 years since the unfortunate death of SSR, 675 days since the CBI started the investigation, and 615 days since AIM's panel ruled out murder. Question still remains as to when the CBI will declare the final conclusion, said the Congress General Secretary Sachin Sawant on Twitter. It's very strange, isn't it?
Yeah, but given the IQ of the Mahavasuli government officials, it doesn't surprise me that such a moronic statement came at this
Yeah.
point. At least someone in their right mind would have at least sensed that there are like hundreds of thousands of justice seekers who have been constantly asking, tagging agencies, but they are not given any reply. So this guy who thinks of himself as larger than life thinks that like by tweeting once he is going to get some response by a central agency. Central agencies don't respond to the whims and fancies of these crooked people. They have a procedure to follow. Obviously everyone is frustrated because it's been a long time and there hasn't been anything since the last update I know of was some measurable update was like when these agencies had reached out to all these tech companies for the chat details and so on and so forth. So as much as I'm frustrated to know that there hasn't been any decision or any conclusion or any charge sheet or any statement by agencies, I also feel that this can in my books this at least mean it can go either way. It's like a mixed bag totally. Either the agencies have been told to be tight-lipped and they have been sold out, or they are waiting for the right time which will be instructed to them by the central government to come out and display whatever they have collected, because you cannot deny that there is a plethora of electronic evidence that totally disrupts the circumstantial so-called theory of suicide that has been planted by the perpetrators of SSR. So only time will tell. It will be a test of time. CBI cases usually take a long time to resolve and come in front of the people. I remember a couple of days ago I saw the news. There was this Sippi Sidhu murder case whose investigation was done by CBI since 2015, and they arrested the some daughter of some judge, Kalyani Singh, like couple of days ago after interrogating her. So it took 7 years
7 years.
for
Yeah,
them.
yeah.
Yes. So it took 7 years for CBI in that case. So I think that we are in for a roller coaster ride,
Yeah.
which is not going to end anytime soon.
Yeah. Also, I see another take to it because, see, what has happened recently in the capital when Rahul Gandhi was summoned by the ED. So, somewhere Rahul Gandhi and his family know that he can be arrested anytime. So, anticipating this, they set their whole, what do you call, karyakartas, to follow and create riots and things like that. Now, this is something I'm sure Modi ji would have anticipated. And this is something that they would have anticipated even in the SSR case, because it leads directly to the Thakre's home. Everybody knows that. So if it happens and any child, any penguin is caught, then they will set Mumbai on fire. That's the kind of people they are. So I think there may be some they may be already knowing what would happen, because these people don't spare anybody.
Yes, absolutely. See, there are like multiple factors. Of course, what all you have said, that has to be factored in while taking any decision on such high-profile case. But we also have to remember that the timing of it, when SSR was brutally murdered, it was the time of pandemic, and
Yes.
since then, like then there was the another, like very deadly wave of coronavirus in the following year that came. So in that thing, like in that time, there was no incentive for the central government to, like fast track SSR case, because ultimately that would have led to the fall of the government in Mumbai, and president rule would have come up, and then the opposition would have blamed all that coronavirus,
Yes.
like
Yes.
deaths that had
Yeah.
happened, like the highest number of deaths that happened in Maharashtra, and of Maharashtra, the highest number of deaths were in Mumbai. So that would have come on the hands of PM for none of his fault. So
Yeah.
I think that and since then, on the flip side, since then there has been like a lack of interest and people trickling out, and just like not being as zealous, as zestful about fighting for justice, on except for the few thousands of us who watch your channel and some other channels. So I feel that, like all these factors have contributed towards some moral weakening of the justice seekers. But that being said, yes, there are, like multiple angles which need to be probed, and there are multiple things which need to be taken into consideration. If you talk about polar bear, the one who is having oral cancer, and the one who is like the mastermind of this MVA Sarkar, he has sent his police towards Nupur Sharma to divert, like people's attention from SSR case, and Nupur Sharma is, like, obviously, like, right now she's nowhere to be found. They say that she's somewhere in Delhi. At the same time, Baby Penguin's facade to go to Ayodhya, and right around, look at the shamelessness, right around the time when when, like he was, like murdered SSR. At that time, he goes to Ayodhya and does his sham.
You
So
know, that's because it's his birthday, Aditya's birthday,
yes,
14th.
yes,
Mm.
yes, and they use these events or their anniversaries or whatever it is, but to put a fake picture in front of
Yeah.
people. Even,
Yeah.
I mean, like when I saw that picture, I was seeing that a demon is, like
Mm.
uh, doing the arti of some god, and it
Yeah.
kind of felt like very, I felt like my blood was boiling when I look at the picture. And then I saw that tweet from Sanjay Raut where he says that under the netrutva of Baby Penguin, this thing happened. Are, bhai, if you want to do puja, why are you mentioning politics? Who is the leader and
Yeah.
under whose leadership?
Yeah.
Like, what does leadership has to do with
Yes.
your astha, right? What does
Mm.
leadership has to do with your dharma? So these
Mm.
people don't understand, they expose themselves. And I feel that, like that with the cooperation of agencies, someday at least, these people should land in hot soup. And it's
Yeah.
not like these people are not scared, but they put a facade of, oh, look how we innocent we are. Even when this Baby Penguin came on Rajdeep Sardesai's channel like couple of years ago, and all of this thing, weren't you surprised by the fact that when he was totally in news, Rajdeep conducted an interview with Baby Penguin,
Mm.
right, to whitewash his image and what good things he's been doing in Maharashtra about his RA forest and all those senseless things he has been doing. And he just slipped in a question about, like hey, what is this thing about SSR case? Your name is being dragged. So Aditya's response was that, oh, I cannot talk about that. I have to just focus on what good I am doing. So, I mean, like, if you have nothing to hide, you should speak about it.
Yeah.
If you have nothing to hide, you should speak about it. But he did
Yeah.
not. So, the writing is on the wall.
Yeah. Absolutely. In fact, BJP leader who still refuses to give the proof of how Disha died continues to say meow meow. We're talking about BJP leader Nitish Rane, who ridiculed Aditya Thackeray's Ayodhya visit. Nitish Rane took a swipe at the young minister using his version of a popular Hindi proverb that points to a person's hypocrisy. He said today trained his guns at Maharashtra Minister Aditya Thackeray in a veiled attack regarding his visit to the Ram temple in Ayodhya. Without naming him, he took a swipe at the young minister using his version of a popular Hindu proverb that points to a person's hypocrisy. The MLA's tweet loosely translates to, after committing 100 sins, the cat goes to Ayodhya to meow meow. This is not the first time he has made the meow remark for Aditya. In December last year, he ignited a huge fight between Sena and BJP after he catcalled Thackeray when he was entering the Maharashtra Assembly building. Then, leader of opposition Fadnavis has said that BJP MLA would be reprimanded for his comments, even though Rane himself doubled down, saying he would do it again. Now, here, one more thing, Saffron. I was shocked to see posters where Lord Rama and Aditya Thackeray featured together. So what is this? Dharma and adharma? What are we talking about? How can you
That's
even dare to put this guy's picture against Lord Ram? Are they
that's how
crazy?
that's how I would like to look at it. You perfectly pictured it by saying dharma versus adharma,
Yeah,
and I think that it just goes on to say that, like, how these people think of themselves as larger than life. कि
yeah,
तुम तो कुछ भी कर लो, we are the kings, we are going to do what we want to do, we are the gods of our land, and
yeah,
that's how their approach has been. And वो कहते हैं ना, in Hindi there is a saying कि अहंकार के सामने तो अच्छे अच्छे मर मिट गए. So I feel that, like, with if the agencies are doing their job honestly, I think it won't be a matter. I mean, like, I shouldn't say it will be, like, in short time, but, like, eventually there will be some light at the end of the tunnel. But that being said, the way these guys have been trying since past couple of years to whitewash their images, going on interviews, selective interviews, doing this facade of, like, worshipping Hindu god. They are trying to gain some confidence of some Hindu, like, masses, I would say, so that, like, like, there's already now in Navi Mumbai there are municipal corporation polls now gonna go, so they are up to, like, fight BJP. MVA government is all set to fight BJP. So I think time will tell if people are still, like, people are still holding those beliefs that no, we know what you did, we know your reality, and we are going to expose you by casting you out in these national battle of these elections, and dethroning you. So these kind of things only, like, like, we will see, like, if people have forgotten, like, mostly they have in past, when so many actors were killed, so many other people were quietly, like, killed, and their deaths were termed as suicide or heart attack. So I think time will tell if we if people have learned their lesson or not.
yeah. Also, the fact is that, see, if these people are involved, these top politicians are involved, that means, see, they're not scared of anything. Imagine the number of cases they would have done before SSR for them to have got that much strength and courage to feel that nobody can touch them. So that means, see, they thought that this is also going to be just another case that would be hidden under the carpet. But unfortunately, SSR turned out to be the true warrior who, after his death, also decided that he would take his revenge on these people.
You're right. I just read a comment by Karthik saying that people are not willing to forget, and that's why Boycott Bollywood is a grand success. Yes, I would like to agree on that note. Boycott Bollywood is a grand success so far, uh, and like, who would have thought that nowadays, like, like people like Akshay Kumar, nobody is watching his Prithviraj, right? And even though it was promoted by some factions of BJP, despite that, nobody's watching it. So
Including the BJP IT cell leader.
absolutely right. So you can see that even though the IT cell of BJP has forgotten what happened to SSR and what happened in Palghar, we, the people of India, we have not forgotten. So I think that, like, such kind of things gives us hope. At least that, like, if people are not part of the movement, at least they are doing their bit in some or the other way. वो कहते हैं ना कि मैं गुड़ खाने से दूसरों को गुड़ खाने से तभी रोक सकता हूँ जब मैं खुद गुड़ खाना बंद करूं. So I can only tell people to boycott Bollywood when I have boycotted Bollywood.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
these kind of things need to happen more, even at granular level. We need to, like, I think, uh, what's the right word? I think we need to promote an environment of boycott Bollywood. We need to promote an environment of what has happened in the past, and we need to promote an environment of how this has affected to the past generation, to the current generation, and how can we secure our children, our fellow mates
mm,
from these demons. I'm like, I just had a thought of, like, what we were discussing right about we started the show, and like uh, that tweet that you made on Sonam Kapoor, it came to my mind, and I never thought about it from that angle. Meena ji, I think I would like you to tell what we were discussing rather than me telling it, about the tweet and the explanation you gave. It really made sense to me. I had never thought about it from that perspective, but now that you have said, so you kind of enlightened me in that 2-minute conversation we had. So I feel like, by talking about these things on a regular basis, right, on a weekly basis, daily basis, in whichever way, I think we are making a difference somewhere. If people are not seeing it live, people are watching it at their own comfortable time, but somewhere it drives an impact which works to our advantage.
absolutely. Yeah. So what I was discussing with Saffron was that, see, yesterday, you remember, viewers, we had spoken about this in the news bit, where she poses with this Pakistani guy who's a homosexual and who performs at shows. Now, she had invited him for her baby shower, and she had, spoken highly about him. And then this guy says that, he doesn't like to live in Pakistan because he's more comfortable in UK. But everybody knows that the Muslim religion doesn't allow homosexuals to exist. In fact, they say if you get hold of any homosexual, you should throw them from a cliff and kill them. So that's the kind of policy they have. Now, here, what I'm saying is not related to this at all. What Sonam is doing and what these people, all controlled by the cabal, are doing is coming right from the people like Soros, which is they want the society to be completely disintegrated, which means more divorces, more people like this guy, so you have no proper father, mother, okay, and children are astray. They don't have anywhere to go, so security is gone. Drugs can be given, children can be misled, and then these children become slaves of God alone knows who. So you're talking about a complete, system where there's anarchy, and what's exactly happening now under, Rahul's anger in India, the burning of buses using the excuse, of Agnipat, sorry, and Agnivir, which is actually one of the best things happening to our officers. So I don't know why they have mixed it up with the, violence and all that. So it's all a part of right from the, you're talking about the Shaheen Bagh, the farmers' protest, you're talking about the Delhi riots, okay? Then you move on to Nupur Sharma's this thing, blasphemy, as they say, and then now moving on to what you call Agnipath. So it's all the toolkit, if you look at it. And why would Sonam want to invite a Pakistani man, and that to a homosexual, to perform at your wedding? So is it something like in earlier days, people used to call, they used to call them, so I wouldn't like to use the word hijras, but they used to call these people who were not men or women to come and perform, and so that their blessings mattered, and their children would prosper. So is it a modern version of that? No, it is not. She is sending another message, which is what exactly I've explained. So that's what we discussed. I discussed with Saffron, and that's what he said just now.
Yeah, thank you for putting it out so
I think your
comprehensively.
baby also agrees.
Oh yeah, I would like her to agree when she grows up.
Yeah. So another point, Saffron, was that Ankita's come back again sobbing, and saying that, see, she says her life was finished after Sushant left, and she was a person who is responsible for him to, rise so high, and nobody, knows that how much he suffered, and Sushant made his choice but he left her, high and dry. And it was only her family who supported him, and that she could not achieve anything. Now, the flat that is in her hand is something that he has paid for. So this would be only one thing. Sushant was a very, what do you call, generous guy. So he would have done many more things because Ria was using his credit card, like it was her own, to support her whole family. So now she doesn't have attention. She doesn't have movies. I think she's been used high and dry by the cabal. So she doesn't know where to go. And I don't think her boyfriend or husband is helping her at all. So back she's on Sushant Singh's bandwagon to, get some attention.
No, absolutely, ma'am. I think she is still getting her monthly pension from the MVA Sarkar, who was so willing to pay her bills
Yeah.
for the legal advice that she got from the one of the most highly paid attorneys in the state of Maharashtra, if not in India. So that is that. And the other thing, I'm sorry, you were saying, like, what did you start with? Like, when you were saying, then you moved
Yeah.
towards Riya Chakra about Sushant, right? About
Yes.
Sushant and
Yes.
Ankita,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So Ankita, well, yeah, she's right that nobody knows that how much she has suffered, but there is something she doesn't know, that we all know how much she has not suffered.
Yeah.
Okay, because like you said that, like, the flat that the property that she's living in was paid for by Sushant, and Sushant was a very generous guy. So I feel that all these things, saying one thing at a time, and then having your birthday party and inviting and flaunting photographs of yourself with the perpetrator of the crime, who was kind of like the project manager. I'm talking about Sandeep Singh. It kind of makes you a hypocrite. So to me, she is the hypocrite of the highest order.
Sorry. Sorry.
You okay?
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. Fine. Fine.
Okay.
Yeah. So we were saying that it's not only her; it's also the other women. Like, for example, there's this girl who's acting in the recent movie, which is Jug Jug Jio, Kiara. She's also
Yeah, that
talking
one.
about her,
Okay.
yeah, about her memories with Sushant. Now, suddenly, it's very strange. When his death anniversary comes, they all remember him. It's only because they don't get any attention, and they want some hard-earned PR.
Yeah, I mean, see, it's a twofold problem that's a solver for them. This act of tweeting in favor of Sushant is a twofold problem solver for them, because number one, they have seen how much their businesses have suffered when they are not, like, speaking about Sushant, and obviously they cannot, because otherwise they will be the one who are on the chopping block, right? Their neck will be on the chopping block if they speak about it. So I feel that the reason why they are doing is that, like, they want to play on the
Yeah,
both sides
yeah,
of the aisle, right?
yeah,
They want to make sure that they are not upsetting the hierarchy in Maharashtra, the
yeah,
Mahavasungi Aghadi government, who has left no stone unturned in their capacity to hush this case, to destroy evidence. I mean, it should speak volumes. It should speak volumes when two uh, highly powerful government officials, one home minister and one commissioner of police, when they are like tainted with all these accusations. I mean, I don't even realize that. I don't. It's hard for me to realize that, like, CBI has been kept. CBI is so quiet, and even NIA for that matter. We always talk about CBI. What about NIA? What about Mansukh Hiren case? Where is, like, we pay taxes so that government officials can do their jobs. And I understand that they have a very challenging jobs, but when you have plethora of evidence, what is it that you are waiting for? At least let us know. Have you, like, for CBI, have you filed a charge sheet? What's up with Vaze? Has he become a witness, government witness who will cooperate? What is going on? Nobody is telling us anything, and this is where the problem is. Like, that out of sight, out of mind mentality. So I am afraid that, like, just because there is nothing coming in news, no media channel is covering it, no agency is talking about it, it shouldn't happen that, like, we forget about all these things. despite SSR, apart from SSR, Palghar is also there, right? Palghar.
Yeah,
There
yeah.
is absolutely no news on Palghar.
Mm.
What is there was a video where a police was taking that sadhu
Yes.
to get lynched.
Mm.
I mean, such barbaric
And
visions
you
we have
can't
seen.
watch it. You can't watch it because the sadhus or the gurus or the sannyasis innocent face as he
Yeah,
pleads to the police is absolutely, you can't watch it. It's so
and here
terrible.
and here, and we Hindus kept quiet. Did we go out on the streets nationwide
Yeah,
when we saw that one sadhu was being murdered? He was called Chor instead.
yeah,
He
yeah.
was called a thief. And here, one Hindu lady, Sanatani lady, Nupur Sharma,
Mm.
said about what is written in their own book. And the whole, not only our nation, but 56 other nations went crazy.
Yeah. But Saffron, see, around 38 to 39 nations agreed with Nupur Sharma. They said what she said is right. So it's only, a certain section of society who don't want harmony, who
The
don't want
dominant
harmony.
section, the dominant
Yes,
section of society
yes,
who
yes,
wants to have an autocratic rule,
yes,
who believes in the caliphate.
yeah. So, Saffron, see, with regards to the SSR death anniversary, there was a big gathering at Jantar Mantar. Could you tell us your thoughts on that?
Uh, in an ideal world, I would say that it was a very good move, but unfortunately, we don't live in an ideal world. The way, I mean, it's okay, like, the more people talk about it in whichever way, like I always say that, like, regardless of the differences, if there is visibility given to SSR's murder and demand for justice, I think it should be appreciated. That being said, because I believe like Priyanka and her like Priyanka and other sister, they both were kind of spearhead of that Jantar Mantar protest, peaceful protest. I would have expected much more. Like, there was one journalist from Republic who spoke to Priyanka, but there wasn't any, like, it just seemed like a YouTube live to me, like,
Yeah,
how sometimes we speak.
yeah,
She being SSR sister, she could have done more. She could have asked
much more.
specific questions. Don't talk about things in the air. It's your brother. You should have specific questions.
Yeah.
कि अभी तक के क्या कर रही है सीबीआई,
Mm.
हमने ये बता दिया है. हाँ. And even, like, उन्होंने ये बोलना चाहिए कि whom they spoke to, like, which officer they spoke to. She is not supposed to tell. She is supposed to be remain tight-lipped, and so is the CBI. Everybody is going to be tight-lipped, and the murderers are going to commit the murders, continue their activities, continue their crimes, and you will
Yeah,
get your properties divided. You will get whatever was inherited by you after your brother was killed. And then does that end there? I mean, you have powerful people in your family. I mean, there are like so many helpless people who fought for their offsprings, like, when they were brutally murdered.
yeah,
I should be like, every other show I remember, like, talking about Nitish Katara's mom, uh, Rabia ji, who's like not gotten justice almost a decade, still fighting, like, from UK coming all the way to India.
Janvi Kukreja's mother.
Yes. The list is like very long. So I feel like, there has to be uh, a buttload of more expectations
Yeah.
from SSR sisters, so
Mm.
that, like, we are sure that, okay, yeah, it's going somewhere, rather than, I don't know. I like to say, I mean, like, yeah, she was also like, I saw that video. She also cried and all. I won't say that her emotions were fake, because at the end of the day, it was her brother. But I expect more. It's just my personal opinion. Obviously, everybody is entitled to theirs, and I am entitled to mine. So, if I were in their case, I would have handled it a lot differently. I would have handled it very aggressively, very aggressively. I mean, it was due to that aggression that I, came into this movement, and I
Yeah,
believe so
yeah.
did you and others.
Many of us, many of us.
Yes.
Tom and Jerry Happy says, I heard about 30 people died around the same time as SSR, few weeks here and there, who were in his inner circle. So many people die, and Mahavikas Aghadi has no answer.
Yeah, I had thought about like not thought, but at that time I was informed that like at least more 15 or more than 15 people have been killed.
Yeah,
And that is right what Tom and Jerry is saying. I
yeah,
can't speak for the number, but there were multiple deaths,
yeah.
and it was a humongous number. So I mean, yeah, but see, that's the thing. When the rakshak of the state have become bhakshak, what are you going to do? Your only door, see, we have already knocked the doors of the court, we have already knocked the doors of the media, we have already knocked the doors of central agencies, we have knocked the doors of the HMO PMO office as well, right? What else can you do as a common man? What else can you do? But people like Priyanka, they won't be they are not common, because they are part of the grieving family,
Yeah.
right? They have obviously a lot more power. If they write something which is strong, which is aggressive, there will be others. A leader is someone who provides the vision, not toes the line. You cannot say that like, oh yeah, I was in my shell, it just took me a year and a half to come out, when all of us were like, continuously asking for justice, and now suddenly you want justice. Then you talked about like, plant for Sushant and Sushant day with all these crocodiles and elephants and whatnot, and then you like, disregarded them, which should have been done a lot earlier. And now you are just running some, what is this, like what is it you are running? I don't understand. Like, is it a business? Is it like a NGO? Do you have NGO plans? Like, what is your plan? Where is justice amongst all these things? There is no
This
justice.
is, this is exactly what I thought. So, what you said is absolutely true. Meanwhile, Kangana Ranaut lauds Center for Agnipath scheme. She says has a deeper meaning than building a career. Lauding the Center for the Agnipath initiative, Kangana has stated that the military recruitment scheme serves more purposes than just building careers. As protests continue to intensify with incidents of clashes, vandalism, and arson reported across different states against the center's recruitment initiative for the armed forces, the Agnipath scheme, Kangana Ranaut on Saturday took to a social media space and lauded the scheme. In her Instagram, she said on how the scheme would turn out to be beneficial for the Indian youth, some of which, according to her, are indulging in consuming drugs and addicted to online games like PUBG. Now, what I find very amazing, Saffron, about her is that she takes no time to do U-turns.
Right.
You know,
I mean, see, I appreciate, like, I agree with her with what she has said. But that being said, I have seen through, like, eventually I realized, like, what kind of a, like, double-faced person she is. And I think that, like, that awareness, like self-awareness, is the only thing that is going to, like, get all of us as a cohesive unit to where we want to be, like, because people, like, when there is when it suits her, she will become a Sanatani. When it doesn't suit her, when it suits her monetary wise, she will join hands with Ekta Kapoor and like, be part of her reality show or whatever, right? So I mean, I don't understand, like, where are your loyalties, right? What is it that you're doing? Or are you just getting footage? Why did you even come on Republic and talk on Frankly Arnab for over an hour about nepotism and what happened to Sushant and things like that, when you were not even keen on, like, pursuing it again, like, on long term basis? You just took your 2 minutes of fame, garner a lot of attention, and then made it all about you, that, oh, look how my home is going to be destroyed by the bulldozer and things like that. So uh, I just don't understand, like, everywhere the justice seekers are going, they are getting disappointed. We keep hopes from the some of the YouTubers, they get disappointed. We keep hopes from the courts, there is nothing coming out. We keep hopes from the agencies. Honest officers are being transferred and the agencies seem to be like, more or less compromised. We keep hopes from this family is quiet. When the family comes out, it seems more like they are running some small time business of taglines. I mean, what the arre, when you give interview to Republic on Jantar Mantar, you see that he trends every single day. My brother trends every single day. Rather than that, you tell about what is going to happen in the case. We know he trends every single day because we have been
Because
training it.
you do it.
Yeah, the people were doing it when you were keeping quiet in your closet for over a year. When there was time to act, you did not act, and now you are coming out. So, I mean, the more I talk about her, Minaji, like, this is like one of the like advice that I have received from people that I look up to. They've said that we are not here to fix the world. We are here to understand and become wise and make proper decisions. We cannot fix the world. And I see how true that is. I mean, like, I tried fixing some of the people in the movement that I considered myself very close friend to, but it did not like, happen that way. So I feel that it's very important to be self-aware, to see through all these things, to become wise, so that we can make proper decisions. And when we collectively make proper decisions, we will be able to help each other and
Yeah,
vouch for each other, rather than like, getting frustrated over these things.
yeah. Do you think that the sister has found out about the crocodile's true colors?
Oh yes, yes, definitely, definitely. The sister has found out about the crocodile's true colors, but that does not mean that the sister is like right now not compromised. The people who are like around her right now, they are no less evil than the previous ones. Maybe the degree of the evilness must have been a little lesser now than it was before, but it doesn't like, Uh, I mean, to me, it's good that like, they saw through one problem, but I'm more concerned about that they are creating a bigger problem for their own brother's case, because I wouldn't want to see sister embroiled in the tagline campaign, like
Yeah.
morning tagline this, evening tagline that. Are baba kya, like
Mm,
what the hell is
mm,
going on? Give that job to someone else.
yeah,
I'm not like, give it to someone else. You focus on your, like, where are
yeah.
we going to go to with
Getting
the,
actual results.
yeah, the actual result,
Mm,
something
mm,
measurable. What is going to happen by tagline?
mm,
Okay, you're going to trend him for another 5 years, then what?
mm.
SSRians are going to move ahead with their life. They will see that okay, nothing is happening. Agency, you cannot blame it on all on agencies. Are, what are you doing to pressurize the agencies? You being the family, you think that the Twitter trends are helping in pressurizing the agencies? What are you doing? Are you knocking the doors of like, prime minister's office? Are you knocking the doors of CBI office? What evidence did you, वहां पे आपने, अगर आपको प्रोटेस्ट ही करना था, आप सीबीआई ऑफिस के सामने करते? जंतर मंतर पे करके क्या मिलने वाला है आपको? What are you going to get at Jantar Mantar? You have to realize that there are people who got arrested, maybe for whatever reasons they wanted footage, whatever it is, but they went above and beyond. They were not related to your brother. They got arrested and they did their part. And now, I mean, it just goes beyond like, my grasp of. मैं यहाँ पे लोगों से पूछता हूँ, if your sibling died, would you have acted in this manner? अरे लोग सड़कों पे आ जाते, चिल्ला चिल्ला के ये कर लेते हैं, पूरा मतलब एक बखेड़ा खड़ा कर देते हैं। हम हॉस्पिटल में हमारे किसी रिलेटिव की डेथ होती है तो पूरा हॉस्पिटल सर पे खड़ा कर देते हैं लोग। सो यहाँ पे तो आपका भाई था वो, जो कि इतना लाइक ही वाज लव्ड बाय एवरीवन एंड वाज सच अ ब्राइट सोल। I don't understand, like, what is it? Is that how, like, the more I say, it will be like, you're shaming the family and things like that. But it's very difficult. Like, there are so many people, so many people who have told me that, like, we don't understand the family. So
Mm.
many people in the movement. There are people who run the taglines. They come into the DMs, will call me on WhatsApp and say that they're like, we don't understand what the family is doing. They try to be respectful. They say that, like,
Yeah,
we cannot talk about it. We appreciate that you and me, Naji, are talking about it. And then there are like people who, like, because obviously they have their uh, YouTube channels running, so they tend to take a diplomatic stand, and I get that. Okay, that fair enough, to each their own.
Yeah.
To each their own. But
Saffron, you've seen this trend in movies, like, whenever a movie is about to release, all these people go to the temples and put pasma and do puja and all that. They never go to a dargah, okay? They never go to any mosque or anything. They only go to a temple, you know, and then they, woo all the right wingers, and then launch the movie. Now, the latest one, which is Brahmastra, they show this guy climbing the temple with shoes. And then we also hear that this movie was shot almost 90-95% outside India, though it is all supposed to be happening about Lord Shiva's abode at his home, which is India. So 5% shot in India, rest of it shot outside.
if you cannot show the insides of a mosque or a dargah, or if you cannot show face of Prophet Muhammad, whom people who believe in Islam as, as their god, as their Allah, then why are you showing Hindu deities,
Hindu
right?
gods, yes.
Yeah, why are you showing them? Why are you, humanizing them, right? I like
And then why are you praying to them?
exactly. See, the prayer part, we know on that, they don't give a damn. it's
Yeah.
it's it's to engage, I think. See, this is the problem with, uh, one thing that Subramaniam Swami, one of the very few things that Subramaniam Swami said, that I agree with, that, if any country, if the population of Muslim country, like Muslims, is more than 35%, that then there some unrest, some kind of unrest happens, and we are seeing that here. We are seeing that in our country. We are seeing that one person, just because they said something which is like in their book, you can see, everywhere in India there was tension.
Yeah.
Even in my hometown there was
Mm.
tension that
Yeah.
day. So I don't understand. And like, Hindu gods are mocked. Well, see, uh, Islam faith has to come out of this mindset that, their problems are world problems, but others' problems are not their problems. That has to happen.
Mm. Yeah. Another thing that we've noticed is that every time Rahul Gandhi leaves the country, he brings back with him riots. Every sort of violence starts in India. So the people who think that he's a fool are totally mistaken. He goes to meet very, very devious people and bring back their agendas to India to break, and destroy India.
Ma'am, this was about, what were you talking about right
Yeah.
now?
See now what's happening with the Agnipath and
Agniveer.
Agnivir. Yeah.
Mhm.
And this is just the same as what happened earlier with farmers thing, agitation, the earlier Delhi riot, all that Shaheen Bagh.
Yeah, yeah,
So
yeah.
people have started realizing that whenever Rahul Gandhi leaves for abroad, he meets with people who join hands with him to destroy India. So he is a very important part of this toolkit.
Oh yeah, yeah, he definitely is, because that's where they get the funding from, right?
Yeah.
They are getting funding from the foreign factions. And the thing is that, uh, दुश्मन का दुश्मन दोस्त होता है. This mantra, all these forces are using, be it at macro level or at micro level.
Yeah.
You can see it. For state elections, you will have MVA, Mahavikas Agadi. At the central level, you had Mahagathbandhan, if you remember,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
Which failed.
Hmm.
And at the international level, you are seeing other factions, like you have the Khalistani factions, you have the LGBT community, which is also against, Sanatan Dharma. Why is the LGBT community against Sanatan Dharma when the people that who they partner with, the Islamic faith, considers homosexual as they
Yeah.
ridicule homosexuality?
Yeah, and in our
Sanatan Dharma,
Sanatana Dharma, there
yeah,
was always these
yeah,
transvestites. They were
yeah,
there. It was not a
yeah,
problem.
yeah. In Sanatan Dharma, they never said anything bad about anything. You could be an atheist and
Any
still be a
person, you
Sanatani.
could be a he, a her, or a it.
You could be a Muslim and you could be
Yeah,
Sanatani,
yeah, yeah,
right? You could be
yeah.
anything and be Sanatani,
Mm,
right? When you say la ilaha illallah and all those things, the debate ends there itself. It
yeah,
ends there itself. I was reading through the comments, Minaji, and there was like one question: can you touch upon Munawar? I think, yeah. See, the question was that also planned to avenge his ban?
yeah.
See,
Who is it?
getting him
Who
into
is it?
by Boo Boo.
Yeah, yeah,
This, yeah. So, I mean, like Munawar, he's one of those that uh, comedy gang who, like, likes to ridicule gods, Hindu gods, and he got what he deserved. But then later on, after that, he gets telecasted in this show, Lock Up,
yeah,
right? And
yeah.
he also won it, right? If
Mm,
I
mm.
so you can
And
see
gets VIP treatment by Kangana Ranaut.
Kangana Ranawat, right? The same
Mm.
lady who behaves in so Sanatani way,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
So, uh, so that that way you should, connect two and two together,
Mm, mm,
because I mean, to these people it doesn't matter.
mm,
ये हमको से बैठ के सिर्फ बेवकूफ बना रहे हैं.
mm.
If they are saying something pro, the problems with Hindu community is that somebody praises them and they become happy.
Yeah,
Somebody praises them and they become happy,
yeah,
but they don't see that what are they doing to ridicule or to call out other things that are happening outside of Sanatan Dharma. They
yeah.
don't see that.
Mm,
So I think it's about time that, people start seeing through this, and where the things are not okay, they are not okay. Then be it like even our central government, there are few things that I have reservations with them. I mean, the way they treated Nupur Sharma, it was not right. And funny, that adds to your point when you
mm,
said, even today
mm,
before our interview, that if you were a prime minister,
mm.
you would have had a different stand. You would have
Yes.
acted differently, right? You said
Yeah,
that.
yeah, yeah,
So, so it's so that's why awareness and keeping your mind open and alert, because we are going through an ideological war, and we have survived. There was like constantly wars going on, and this is something even our PM spoke about a few years ago, that India was independent and could never be in every small province or village there was a constant struggle for freedom. We have no idea, how many people have given like their life. Some of them, like we even like some of them, some of them were even like true Muslim freedom fighters also, who laid their lives, but not in the hopes that, they will see what is going on today.
mm. Dipali says Rahul Gandhi will get arrested on Monday. Now, see, the funny thing is, Rahul Gandhi goes to his mother, who's already got COVID-19, and is having lung congestion. Now, how does he go near a patient, at this time? Is very strange. So, and he has said that he can't come on Sunday, but he will come on Monday to ED. Look at the way they are trying to dictate orders, as if he's some Shahzada.
Yeah, I don't have much hope. He might go on, he might get arrested again, but he will get out on bail.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
no, nothing is going to happen to
Mm.
them.
These
Nothing.
people. Mhm.
Yeah, nothing is going to happen to them. uh, at the end of the day, we the system seems to be compromised. It's very biased
Mm.
in favor of the rich and the famous.
Yeah.
The only rich and the famous who get punished are the ones who have been compromised by these political leaders, both political parties.
Yeah,
Only
yeah,
those, they are the ones who get punished, but other ones, they escape.
yeah,
I maybe a very strong statement, and I might get some hate for it, but I don't feel like anything is going to happen to baby penguin. Maybe at the end of the day, they will find some scapegoat, and maybe if something happens in SSR case, they'll do that. But I don't think baby penguin is going to get punished in any way. The only way we can punish baby penguin is by making sure that he never becomes the chief minister of
Mar-
Maharashtra.
Amita says, does she actually have COVID? No, Amita, I'm sure she doesn't have COVID. It is only because she was summoned by ED that she must have sought this sort of excuse. A virus goes to a virus infected with another one.
That's a
The
nice
Chennai boy
point
chess
down to
spinner's
say.
picture was changed and they removed his vibhuti. Now you see Hinduism and Sanatana Dharma will come with a extra spurt. It will come with lot of strength. So that's just happening, you see. So
See,
I don't think, yes.
the good thing is that there is a renaissance happening. Like,
Mm,
people
mm,
are like, getting proud of their religion. Like, it is very important to understand that, like, and even like, one day I was watching this interview of Sanjeev Kapoor. It was a regular interview. He's a chef, right? And
mm,
he was told that, like, what was it for you, like how did you become chef and things like that. So he said something that, like, his first sentence was that, I noticed that, like, people used to uh, we ourselves used to ridicule our own food, that, like, something that, like, oh, it's curry, it's a lot of smell and onions and all those things, so we were made to feel ashamed of our food. In rather, what is cool? Something like pizza, something like burger, which causes cancer, like, no matter what, like, it causes anything, but it is cool. But Indian food, not cool. I see, like, most of the time here also, people, like, Indian food is not cool. And most of the desi people, like, they will eat it, but they will show to the world, like, oh, we don't
they
like
will
it
not.
that much, we don't eat 7 days a week, we
Mm.
don't eat Indian food 7 days a week, we like lasagna, this, that, all.
Everything except Indian.
Yeah, so I think, so I feel that, like, it is very important to educate our kids
Mm,
and the peers around us,
yeah,
that yeah, ki bhai jago. If you don't, then it's going to be the same thing that will continue, and it won't be good for our dharma. We have to
yeah,
spread. We are not, like, we are not waging any battles, but be bold enough to not take crap about your own dharma.
yeah. Dipali says, Rahul had said that kerosene छिड़क दिया है, सिर्फ आग लगनी बाकी है. Was he waiting for something? Obviously, they are the mischief makers. In fact, in opposition, they are more scarier, than when they are in power. That you must remember.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And I also think that, like, even if we talk about Rahul Gandhi, what happened with the Sukanya case, right? There is nothing, not much is written about it now. I think that there is only like couple of web links. If you Google,
They
it
made
comes
them
in.
disappear.
Yeah, yeah. You can only make them disappear when you burn them or bury them deep enough so that their bodies can't be excavated,
Yes,
right?
yes.
Those are the only
And he was
possibilities.
a part of the Congress. The father was a part of the Congress.
Yes, and that girl was fan of his.
Yes,
And she went to visit him and never
in the
returned.
farm. Yeah, in the farm.
Yes, absolutely.
Mm,
So all these things, there again, like, just like we are aware of it, this awareness need to be spread at like, exponential level, like, in the masses. And that is how we are going to ensure that no matter who says what, sometimes tomorrow, like, uh, like Kiran Rijiju might say something good
yeah,
about Hindu Dharma, but we don't have to forget that not so long ago, this same guy was promoting Salman Khan. NCB might say something, but we don't have to forget that this is the same NCB who was like, posting these I think videos by these celebrities from Bollywood, right?
yeah, mm,
Whom we are so, like, trying to boycott. And you see how they're like, how they buy these agents in the agencies. It's the same people, like, Bollywood plays it very nicely, they see, because they don't have a soul. So they are like, acha, Who are the masses following? Okay, the masses are following. Who are the people against us? Okay, these are the people from the who are the followers of agencies. They are against us. So let the agencies promote us.
Yeah.
You know, this is how it is done. If
Funny thing is, Saffron. See, when I do a lot of these cartoons on, these politicians. I did some on Rahul Gandhi, and immediately there was a point from somebody saying that, see, you stopped, getting readings of SSR diary done because he started writing against Modi. Can you imagine? See how they have connected.
wow.
So you know where the cabal is coming from.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think those people who think that Sushant was writing against Modi should
Mhm.
also believe the fact that then Sushant committed suicide. I
Yeah.
think those people are working against the movement rather than
Yes.
for the
Yes.
movement.
Trying to hit two birds with a stone. One is
Right.
Modi and one is SSR.
Some people still believe that SSR is alive now. Like,
Yeah.
even with all that has happened. So I don't know what to say. The other day I received a DM saying that I think Saffron, it is possible that he is alive. I'm like, I didn't even respond. I was like, okay, yeah, maybe. Yeah, in an
Yeah.
alter universe. Yeah.
Yeah. So I think on that note, we can end this session, Safi. Thank
Surely.
you so much. As always, it moves so fast.
Yes, yes, Minaji, and you take care of your health. I know the weather is changing a lot, and we are going through a lot, and we will continue to go through a lot, but
Yeah.
that shouldn't deter us from our fight for justice.
Yeah.
And thank
Absolutely.
you for inviting me yet again, and thank you to all our viewers for tuning in.
Yeah.
It's always great to have your support, which makes us excited to talk and brave enough to talk about the issues which are
Yeah.
hushed up by the perpetrators. So
Yeah.
thank you so
In
much.
fact, in fact, when you came for the show where we were supporting and talking about SSR on 14th,
Mhm.
people were very excited to see you because that shows that, see, with unity, we grow stronger.
Absolutely, ma'am. Absolutely. With unity, we grow stronger, and then that that we are going to collectively go in one direction, which is the direction to go to. When you have people who are from the certain factions who try to work against the movement, it does get dirtier, and but I think it is part of it. When you have good, you also have bad. So we have to do our dharma and fight against these people.
Yeah.
So let's continue to do that. And hats off to you, ma'am, for
Yeah.
doing these sessions so regularly. Not only with me, but with so many other people. I can see, because long back I used to do the session, so I know how difficult it is to do it every day. But hats off to you and other people who continue to do it. So let's continue to support these people, and I can't wait to get back with you again next week.
Next week. See you and good night from the viewers.
Thank you, thank you, thank you so much, and until next time, Jai Hind.
Good night. Jai Hind.